Well, I just shot about 5 minutes of video and looked at the camera and it wasn't even working. Something, I guess the battery quit on me. Anyway, I don't have the gimbal on here, so it might be a little shaky, but I just discovered a problem. And it's a big problem, but it's a problem that I need to take care of very soon, and so it doesn't get any worse. So when I was putting the insulation in the walls, I noticed that the back of the insulation was getting damp because the moisture in the air here was going through the insulation and condensing on the cold back surface of the sheathing. So I quickly put up 6 mil poly everywhere, and I've been doing the sheetrocking, and I've basically been doing the interior walls. This is the kitchen. And I decided, well, I'll start doing this side over here, which is an exterior wall, and I felt some dampness. So I pulled the plastic off, and lo and behold, the plastic's not doing the job. Moisture's getting, we just stapled it around the edges, but moisture's getting in there and condensing, and you can see there's no mold yet, so I caught it early enough, but the insulation's all damp, the sheathing, the studs are all damp, and this house would not last 10 years in that condition. And it only seems to be from 4 feet up. If you stick your hand down lower, they're all dry. Oh, very disappointing, but I got to deal with it right now. So, but let me take you in here on the north wall. So on the outside of this wall, I did a sample siding. I put up 2 inches of blue styrofoam and did some shiplap siding, and I did it so I could get the electrical conduits up the ground and through the siding and into the house. So check this out. From this line here to the left is where the blue styrofoam starts, and that's all dry, perfectly dry. And I opened up more to the left, and it's perfectly dry because the insulation's keeping that sheathing from being cold, so the moisture in this air goes through the insulation and is not condensing on that because the surface isn't cold. But over on here, there's no insulation. That sheathing is extremely cold, and the moisture is just condensing, and it's bad. It's nothing that can't be fixed and addressed. It's just it's a problem. So I was wondering about, let me get my finger off the mic. I was wondering about the attic, but the attic insulation is all, it's all sealed with a zip system, and the zip system is covered with insulation on the top, so it's doing the same as the sheathing on this wall where there's no cold surface for the moisture to condense. So I am not at all concerned about the attic insulation. I may go up there and just take a peek, open up one small section and reach around in there, but it's really just these exterior walls, and in the attic, the gable end wall. So I think the priority for me is once I get the pantry, I gotta take the plastic off and pull off all the insulation so that all this stuff will dry out. And then I'm gonna finish the pantry, which is very close, and get the water heater going, and then actually start putting up the blue styrofoam and siding on the outside of the house. I have to do it because you can see what the result when it's done right and when it's not done right. So I am trying to build a super insulated house and control the environment inside, and My old house had board sheathing and it leaked, and we used a lot of firewood, but when you opened up those walls they were perfectly dry. So anyway, these modern houses, I guess if I pay attention to the details, they're fine. But if you don't pay attention to the details, such as this, big problems. They will never last 200 years. And I hope this house lasts 200 years, but that means that I've got to put insulation on the outside. There you have it. I hope somebody can benefit from this. You know, I've been listening to this stuff, and I thought putting up the plastic would cure that, and I think that it's obviously not cured it. So the cure for it is to insulate that outside wall. So, all right. You can't know it all, so I'm going to sign off and figure out how I'm going to do all this in the next few weeks. All right, see ya. Well, I figured that I would show you what the outside looks like so that you get an idea of how it reflects on the inside. So as you can see, this is a sample part of the building that I did, the insulation and siding, and I did it to get the electrical conduits in, and this is the line inside where the sheathing is cold and the sheathing is warm because of this blue styrofoam. So even if I don't get all the siding on, I think it's going to take me probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, and this stuff goes up pretty quick. And I'm going to put up this layer of blue insulation, and that will really help the building. And then I'm gonna just do the shiplap siding at my, poke away at it. So there, I'm gonna put this in the video so that you get a view of what the outside looks like. And this Advantex is really interesting stuff. It's designed to keep the vapor from penetrating the building, but it's not the vapor on the outside that's the problem. It's the vapor from everybody breathing and cooking on the inside that is the problem. So to alleviate the problem, I got to put blue styrofoam over the building, which I had intended to do, but I got distracted by other things. So anyway, I got to do that soon. Well, I'm back on the exterior wall insulation issue, and I went and talked to a friend who has a lot more experience than I do with the insulation and the moisture barrier or air barrier or vapor barrier. And so I told him what I was doing, and he recommended that you don't need a vapor barrier. What you need is an air barrier. So he gave me this stuff called membrane, which is supposed to, it's not a vapor barrier, it's an air barrier that apparently will let the vapors in the air, anyway, apparently it reacts to the temperature and the moisture level in the air in the room, and will either let moisture in or out of the cavities. Now, all of this stuff is a big guess as to whether it's really going to work, but I'm going to try his recommendation. So I tore off all of the 6mm poly I put on this wall. I'm working on the kitchen wall here, exterior wall. So the wall cavities are now dry with the dehumidifier, me pulling the insulation off. They've dried out nicely. So I'm going to install this material, and then he said you should really tape all of the joints around there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tape them, and I'm going to try to be meticulous. I got to work around all the outlets, and this wall has a ton of stuff. The sink water lines and drain line, the dishwasher wire, and there are 4 boxes and a window in this wall. So there's a lot of penetrations through this material, and I'm going to try and tape them all off and be meticulous about it. So we're going to see what happens. So hold on, I'll get started, and then I'll turn the camera back on. Alright, I am back working on the kitchen, and you can see I've got some of this membrane material up, and I've taken the time to carefully tape the top edge, and I'm working my way around. I did the window. I'm trying to use as few staples as I can to try to keep it as a continuous sheet. I'm going to have to tape around all of those openings there, but I started working on these outlets, and you can see in the back, I pull this out here. You see in the back there all of the light coming through? That's not good. So down on these outlets, which I haven't done yet, I actually, you can't see in the back because I put a piece of zip tape around the back side, and that worked really good to seal all that up. And after it's all sheetrocked, I'll probably go through here and run some bead of caulking in there. It's the only way you can really seal up the wire. So that's what will happen on this one too, is I'm going to try and reach behind there, get a piece of zip tape, and then the hole that the wire comes through, I'll end up foaming that or caulking that. So I should have done that to this one. I'm going to have to carefully reach underneath and get the back side. But after my, I got some stuff in the lens here. After my first experience there with the vapor barrier and having the walls be all wet, I'm going to try and take my time and do a good job. Every time I get to an exterior wall, I'm not going to do the whole house at once. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work a wall at a time. So I got to get the kitchen done. So this is the exterior wall, and I'm going to just work on this one a little at a time. There you have it. I'll do a little more and give you an update. Oh, good morning. Whoa, falling in a hole here. I'm working on the outside of the house today, and I just talked to a friend who's been watching my videos and says I need to go to hosting school. But I told him what you see is what you get. So that's all I got to say. Of course, he has his own radio program, and he's a smooth talker, so I'm not. So I apologize if puts people off. But anyways, today I am working on putting on more of the 2-inch blue styrofoam on the outside of the house. And you can see it right here. And around the building I've got some done. So I'm going to just keep going today. I'm not going to film the whole thing. It's the same repetitive thing. I'll show you some of it, but it's basically the blue styrofoam is going on, and 1-inch thick strapping is going over that. It's screwed into the studs, and as you can see, I should probably bring you down here. You can see this is, and I showed it at the beginning, this is the sample. This is the sample siding that I've already done. So it's got the 2-inch blue styrofoam, the 2-inch thick blue styrofoam, the strapping, and then the shiplap pine is just going right over that. And I did this section to get the electrical conduits in, but it'll end up being flush with the windows. That's the whole plan. So gonna get the blue styrofoam on to help keep the sheathing warm so that we can alleviate the condensation that's happening on the inside of the building. Check it out. It's snowing out. The dog's barking. Horses got their blankets on. End of January. We have got hardly any snow on the ground. We're supposed to get some kind of a storm later in the week. But nice big flakes. Looks pretty nice. And then there's the barking dog in there. I'm just gonna show you, the camera didn't like being out in the cold while I was putting up the blue styrofoam, but I got that side done. And then today I'm gonna finish up the other side. So we'll have 2 sides of the house done. And yesterday I burned a pile which is over there smoking away. All right, going in for breakfast. All right, sorry for the shaky camera. I just found out that this GoPro 8 doesn't fit my gimbal. So hopefully I can stabilize it somehow. But I wanted to show you how much of the blue styrofoam I've got up. I stopped doing this about a week ago, stopped installing it because the weather's gotten brutally cold and it's snowing every other day. But as you can see, I got this gable end almost done. I picked up all the insulation. It's just finding a time when it's not windy and about 15 degrees out. So I'll go around this side. This will be pretty bright. But you can see I've got 3/4 of this side done. And it goes up pretty good, but I'm sick and tired of walking around in the snow or having all of my tools be snowed on. So I've been working inside. Hopefully you can see what I've been doing is I got all of this membrane on. Let me move the camera over. And you can see I've been very, very careful. I tape around all the edges. All of the edges. And I show you taping behind the boxes, taping around the boxes, around everything here. So I know that there are going to be sheetrock screws that will penetrate it when I hang the sheetrock, but those will be the only things hopefully penetrating this material, this membrane material. Anyways, I've done the best I can. We'll just hopefully that this product is the right thing to use. We're trying to order more, and apparently it's unavailable. So my wife who's on the computer looking for stuff at the moment. Hopefully we can find 3 more rolls to finish the house. But in the meantime, I've got I've got cellar stairs that I'm working on, and I'm gonna hang the sheetrock here in the kitchen, and I'm gonna mud the kitchen, and then we're gonna paint it and hang the upper cabinets, which are down in the cellar, get those hung, and get all the appliances. Well, I guess next week we're going to order tile for the kitchen floor, so that'll be coming up too. There's lots of stuff in the queue already, and lots of stuff coming up. So stick around. There's more building our house. So hope you're being safe. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Are you cold, Apollo? You're not that cold? Oh, you're nice and warm. Let's go inside. Well, hello, ponies. How are you? Well, what are you doing? Well, hello, Homer. What's going on? Oh. You guys you're on camera. You don't even know it. Yeah, you're looking good though. Look at your nose. All covered in icicles.